Good day to you all. I hope you find my channel informative. If you do, please hit the like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, now today what I'm going to talk about is something to do with finance as well. It's about retiring. Sometimes years go by and you look, it feels like just the other day I was in my 20s and I started on the right track and obviously followed the wrong track and whatever, I don't know. And not to say that I'm starting from zero, but I do have some money saved towards retirement, but at this stage it's definitely not enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my journey, and I'm also going to tell you how you can also start things in motion to get this thing going. And my disclaimer is that I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take this as financial advice. But if you do follow what I'm going to tell you, then it will help you. And in future podcasts, I'm going to also explain things in detail, like the stock market ratios. I'm going to go into detail with retirement, into what different vehicles you can use, and everything that's available. So any questions, you're welcome to ask me in the comment section, and I can try and help you with that. Okay, so the first thing to know, no matter how old you are, I'm 56, so it's 9 years till I'm 65, and I have set a plan in motion, and that's what you have to do. And you have to know you're not alone. I've heard different surveys done. The one survey said at least 50% of people have realized they haven't got enough for retirement. And there was another one, a local one from South Africa. Obviously, I'm living in South Africa. Another one, they actually said, one of the big banks here did a survey, and they said 90% of people in South Africa don't have enough saved for retirement. So obviously, the earlier you start on this thing, the better. If you start when you're 20, you start putting money away, and you put it away regularly, and you save, you're using compound interest to your benefit. And that's one of my other points later. Okay, so don't delay. Start today. Don't procrastinate. Don't just start. The other thing is you must pay yourself first. When you get your salary, some people, they get the salary, they pay what they need to pay, they pay their different expenses and whatever, and then they're like, okay, well, let's do this, let's go and have a treat here, let's go and have a treat there, let's spend here, spend there, and then they say, oh, I've got no money left to invest. So what you need to do is put that investment amount in with your expenses. Treat it as an expense, whether it be a 500 Rand a month, 1,000 Rand a month, whatever you can. Put that in, even if you have to cut on a little bit of luxuries here and there, People who smoke, for example, they can cut a little bit on cigarettes. They can, people who drink, maybe they can cut a little bit on alcohol, but you can cut on your luxuries, You sort of treat yourself, instead of eating out every night, eat out maybe once a week, make it a special occasion. So those are some things you can do. So now I was also your vehicles to pay into. You must actually make sure that you're using them to your benefit. It was about almost 10 years ago now they introduced the tax-free savings account. I've only just started paying into one. Now, what you can do, you can actually pay 36,000 Rand a year, which is 3,000 Rand a month, into your tax-free savings account. And the growth within that account is non-taxable. So using after-tax money, you're paying in, but your growth in there is non-taxable. So you don't pay any capital gains tax, you don't pay any interest. Obviously you do have your interest exemption yearly anyway, and you do have a capital gains tax exemption, but that money within the tax-free savings account. So it's to your benefit that you pay up to 36,000 Rand a year. If you have 36,000, paying 36,000 Rand a year. If you don't, pay as much as you can in there each year, but don't pay more. If you pay more than 36,000 Rand a year, then you are taxed at 40% on the amount that you pay over. So don't pay more. Okay, so you pay that amount, and it doesn't. If you pay more the one year, it doesn't roll over to the next year. So you're allowed by law to pay 36,000 Rand a month, a year. So 36,000 any time within the tax year. So obviously from the 1st of March till the end of February the following year. Okay, and okay, so if you can also pay into a retirement annuity if you're either self-employed, you can pay your retirement annuity. You can pay up to 27.5% of your earnings in there, and it is tax deductible. There is a limit on that, but any amount that you go over your limit, you can actually roll over with your retirement annuity, and it will roll over until retirement. But pay as much as you can into your retirement annuity. Every rand helps. And also, if you in a job with if your employer has got a pension fund, and what they usually do is match your pension. So in other words, if you're paying 500 Rand a month and the company pays 500 Rand, so 1,000 Rand goes into your pension, but you're only paying 500 and it's tax deductible. So you must use all your avenues that are available. And then I mentioned compound interest. Compound interest, even now at my age now, I can use compound interest to my benefit by investing and growing my money over the next few years till retirement. And even when you get to retirement age, things don't stop. It doesn't okay, 65, that's it. Your money can keep growing after you're 65. Okay, so do that. And also the other thing is dividend reinvestment, depending on which you're using. If for example with a retirement annuity, it's the money's invested with the company there, and then they will make that money grow for you. But if you a good thing to do is invest. Say for example, if you invest in ETFs, you can invest in ETFs. You're a little bit limited with your tax-free savings account, but you can invest in ETFs with your tax-free savings account or unit trusts. Now, both of them are very similar. What it is, it's a bunch of companies grouped together. So they group it into like a basket. The unit trust or ETF actually buys company in there. They often find they mirror an index. In other words, you get the top 40 fund, you get the all share index fund, you get the S&P 500, you get the Nasdaq 100. So they mirror the index, but you get other they actually buy shares in that company, and then you buy a small part of that unit trust. So you buy units. So what you do when you buy your units, and when you buy in a unit trust or mutual fund, or if you buy in your ETF, when you buy ETF, you're buying a very small part of each company within that ETF, and the same with the unit trust. The difference between the ETFs and unit trust is the ETF trades on the stock market, so your price is variable, so it goes up and down during the day. Whereas a unit trust, they take the price at the end of the market, at the close of the market. So whatever the market closes at, whatever you buy or sell at, the price is at the end of the market. But yeah, ETF trades like a share, but you've got the diversification. You can actually trade in shares as well. You can buy shares, especially dividend shares. You can buy growth shares. You can buy a mixture, obviously. But it's also good if you don't have the time to analyze companies and to really watch the market, then a ETF is basically, you just buy, and you just buy your ETF, and then you'll see long-term profit. The stock market does go up over time. Usually you find, it's not guaranteed, but usually you'll find that the returns on average are around about 7% real growth. But obviously it's not guaranteed, and the markets do go up and down. But if you take it over the longer term, you'll get. They actually looked at the S&P 500, and they actually said, if you look at the graph, if you buy at the highest point, which is the worst possible time to buy, at the highest point, 9 years later you'll have made money. So the long-term strategy is good. Also, shares definitely beat bonds over time. I think in the last 100 years, there's only been 2 years where bonds have actually, or which is basically fixed interest investments. Okay, fixed interest investments. They, if the stock market has a very bad year, sometimes the bonds will outperform. But over the longer term, stocks will always grow, because you're investing with bonds, you're investing in debt. With stocks, you're investing in companies' growth, and most companies grow over time. They grow, some at rates of 10%, 15%, 20%. It varies, yeah. So also a very good thing to use is dollar cost averaging, or rand cost averaging as we call it here. So basically what you do, instead of putting a lump sum in the market, which could be at the wrong time, and that leads me to another good saying, it's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. So don't try and time the market. Sometimes you'll get it right, sometimes you get it horribly wrong. Even traders get it wrong sometimes. But what you need to do is be invested in the share market and rand cost average. If you buy in the day before the market crashes, okay, then you'll buy your units. The next month you'll buy then, for example, the market's down 10-20%. You'll buy your units. You'll buy a lot more units at that price, okay? And if you're buying shares, you'll buy more shares at the same price if the price drops. So if you pay in regularly, it doesn't matter if you don't have to time the market. Like I say, you pay in, the market drops, it goes down. Maybe the next 6 months it's on a downward spiral. Then you buy more and more units, and then when it picks up again, then your units will be worth more. So dollar cost averaging is rand cost averaging definitely works. It definitely works. And usually you'll find that markets follow the company's earnings. Often, sometimes the market gets ahead of the earnings, sometimes the market lags, but usually you'll hear the saying that the good news is priced into the share. In other words, it's forward-looking. Your results are always historical, so you're looking backwards. So your PE ratios are your current and looking backwards. In other words, if your PE ratio is a certain amount, that means they're looking at the earnings, the previous earnings. But then they talk about a forward PE multiple. So in other words, they say that company, they're looking at earnings growth of, say, 20% or whatever. So they will actually then say, okay, the current PE is a certain amount, and the future PE will obviously be a bit lower, which means the share is more attractively priced. But sometimes the market does run ahead of itself and whatever, but you usually find it balances out. But the market will follow. So in other words, if the PE is quite high, then you'll find that sometimes the earnings will surprise on the upside, and then the price is actually justified. But yeah, the markets are up and down. But like I say, over the long term, it's better to be in the stock market than not in the stock market. Because if you get out the stock market, then people are kicking themselves because they've they could have made more. All right, so I hope you found this informative. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, but I want to talk about more things like this over time, and going more to more details about the different vehicles and stuff. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, please like and subscribe. Thank you.